Stan, here we are. Saturday afternoon. Done everything I need to do today. So we escape into the shed once more. 2:45, we'll have a little beer. The wife's home, 4:30, and we all know what happens when she comes home. Fun is over, right? What are we going to do today? I've got so many things piled up behind me, videos to do. I'm going to download one in a minute. It'll probably pop up first. I've got all the things from the military collectibles parcel he sent me to review on. With that in mind, today I'm doing one military item, and the rest of it's not military. It's just a collection of other stuff. If you don't like rugby shirts, turn off now. Are you still here? Well, I'll try and tie some less than hilarious stories in with it. But first of all, what have I been up to? Oh, by the way, did you see my video on Worldwide Arms catalogue? Those Hungarian helmets, they've only got 50, I reckon. I did say to the bloke on the phone, I said, got my own YouTube channel, a couple hundred people watch me. I did mention, he went, we don't need that, we're inundated anyway. I wasn't asking for anything. Anyway, but I started looking into it, and the grey ones, they've got grey and they've got green. You can ask for a preference, but it doesn't say on the website. You better ringing them up. And I read somewhere that the grey was civil defence. I didn't really want civil defence, so I've emailed them. I phoned them up first. I said, can I change it to yeah, grey first. I said grey first. Yeah, I get confused myself now. And so I'll try and do that. Then I emailed them. I thought I'll get green. So I get green. I've confused myself now. So what I'm going to do is leave it. I'm not going to get in contact with them anymore. And whatever I get, because the grey, I think, can be also finish sprayed for the fins. So whatever, £99 for a real piece of World War II history. Who cares what colour it is? Right. So military collectibles, mention him again there. He did say the other day in a comment that he had one of his Bulgarian M36 helmets, and he got a camo helmet cover for it, and turned it into a German one. So there you go. I followed his lead. I can't take credit for it. It's an epic militaria Oakleaf pattern. The SS wore these, I think, and it fits on there. All right, really. It said on the website that it's only for small helmets, and this is a small size 55. But you know, you put that on a mannequin in the gloom of the man cave. I don't know whether should I put the strap up there like that. Do you think, or down, up or down? We'll see. We'll have a fiddle. But that's like 20 quid plus postage. I mean, I've got 3 Bulgarian M36 helmets anyway. So the M36C is one of my least favourite of the 3. So yeah, it's going to double up as a SS helmet or a here, whatever. I'm quite pleased with that. Good idea, Mr. Military Collectibles. Our neighbours are talking next door. Don't they realise it's a film studio in here? Things to do. Anyway, yeah, can't beat it. I'm off all week. I'm always off, man. I'm always telling you I'm off. I just get the same old as everybody else. Right, let's have a look. So, my video today is going to be. I thought about the rugby shirt I did the other week, and I thought actually I've got a few that have got sentimental attachments for me. I tried to look for a photograph, but I couldn't. I couldn't find. There's a photograph that goes with one. I can't find it, so I'll leave that. But I'll just try and go through them as quick as I can and try to put a little story in there to keep you interested. If you don't like rugby shirts, switch off now. You've had your military bit. That's it. So first of all was the one we had last week, Robertson and Burrowang. Doesn't exist anymore. One of my cousin's old rugby league places he played. Right, so he also played for, just have a look, here. So this is there a badge on it? Surely there'll be a badge on it. In the arm somewhere probably. Oh, there you go. Dapdo. JRLC, so Junior Rugby League Football Club. Now, that doesn't mean children or teenagers. It actually, I think it's called CRL now, Country Rugby League. It basically means it's a minor club, you know, like a local soccer club in England. So this wasn't my cousin's, it was one of his mates, but I swapped it for a shirt. And in New South Wales, the rugby league clubs, even though this is only a small club, I'm not sure if they do pay the players. They probably do, but they're not like national leagues. They all have rugby league venues. Like in Britain, if you think of a rugby club, you think of Loads of big fat blokes with moustaches drinking beer, don't you, with blazers on. Yeah, that's probably about right. No, it isn't. But you're honest, you think of a rugby club in this country. Your rugby league club in New South Wales, which I spent many an hour in here in the 90s, is a venue. It's got a restaurant, it's got a pub within a pub, it's got bars, it's got shows on. It's like a big working man's club with posh fairs, it's got gambling machines, everything you need for a night out, really, if you're that way inclined. So that's Dapdo Junior Rugby League Club. And I lived in Dapdo for 8 or 9 months with my auntie, my cousins, 91. So yeah, there's that one. And we'll move on to, let's have a look. This is my cousin's playing shirt from when he was playing for the Illawarra Steelers. So, BHP, Broken Hill Proprieties, that's limited, Broken Hill Company. Broken Hill's an area, a town in New South Wales that's right out in the sticks. It's a mining town. I'm sure they've got a steelworks there, but there is actually a film. I think it's called Look Back in Fright. I can't remember now, but Donald Pleasance is in it, and he plays an outback fella. A teacher comes in. So if you look on Internet Movie Database, Donald Pleasance, 1970. It's called Look Back in Fright or Cry Out in the Night or something like that. It's filmed in Broken Hill, and if anybody's been to Australia, not your Sydney, your Darling Harbour and that sort of thing. I mean, not suburban Australia, away from the main city centres. If you watch this film, I thought, yeah, I sort of recognise that. I recognise that. Obviously, it was before I went there, 20 years before, but it's recognisable. Maybe not so much now, but country Australia, regional Australia, is very different from the tourist spots. So, anyway, Illawarra Steelers. Don't know why he's got a crash helmet on, because obviously he didn't wear crash helmets like that in Rugby League. New South Wales Rugby League. There's a number on the back, number 19. It's way too big for me. It's not something you'd wear. And it's unfashionable anyway, isn't it? But rather a nice item. You look on eBay. These go for quite a pretty penny, you know, maybe 100 quid. They're quite collectible now, because these don't exist anymore. The Illawarra Steelers, they're now called St George and Illawarra. And I went to watch him a couple of times at the stadium. So the way they play rugby in Australia is different from here. Like here, if you've got like three teams in your club, you play firsts are away, thirds are away, seconds are at home. And so sometimes you can play, if you're playing seconds, you might not see some of your mates for week after week, until you go back to the club as if you're not playing alongside them. Whereas rugby union and league in Australia, probably because of the distances you've got to travel, first off you have your under 21s, then you have third grade, second grade, first grade. So it's a full afternoon. It's too much for me anyway. And the worst thing is, you could play third grade or second grade, and then you play full 80 minutes, you'll come off, you think, oh, beer time, shower, and the coach will go, do you want to go on? Go on where? Play another half. I did it a couple of times. Here, listen. Once I've done my 80 minutes and that clock's gone, the whistle, I'm off. I'm out of here. So anyway, so yeah, it's a nice. I went to watch him a couple of times, and I remember once the parachutists came in with like smoke flares coming off the legs, and one of them hit the roof and fell off. I don't think he died. Was there? Yeah, I thought, was that part of the act? They have cheerleaders, everything. Before rugby union started doing all that sort of stuff. So that's a BHP. Illawarra Steelers don't exist anymore. Probably makes it more collectible, doesn't it? Right. So. What we up to now? Right, now we're going to go to ones that I've played in. So, look, we'll do this one first before we go to the Australian one. So this is a shirt. I used to collect rugby shirts. I say I give a load away. And you can put me on a lie detector. I honestly don't even know where I got this one from. I don't. It's a real old-fashioned rugby shirt, and it's a proper plain shirt. You can tell. See, I'll give you a tip now. You didn't know. Underneath, you'll see some stitching around here. You can see that? Reinforcing. That's so they don't rip. Like years ago, clubs would buy a set of shirts, and they weren't just to last a season. They would last for years. And what would happen is this shirt, if it was a first team shirt, would be passed on to the seconds, the third. I played thirds when I was like 18, 19. And you're literally walking out in rags. They don't know how good they've got it nowadays, rugby players. It's a man's game when I started. Anyway, so this is Old Aldwinians. And I don't know where it's from. I don't know what I think the back of my mind, the lad I was around yesterday, he used to play rugby, he's in his 60s now, but he was a collector of shirts. I think he gave me it, but I don't think this club exists anymore. I should have typed it up before I come. This doesn't exist. And it's an old-fashioned, old school, full-back. I was never a full-back. Anything to do with skill and technical stuff, count Stan out, I tell you. Anyway, right, what's next? Don't worry, I won't go on all afternoon. go make a cup of tea, come back, I might do another video tomorrow. What giant beast of a man would fit into this shirt? Look how big it is. It's massive, isn't it? You know who used to wear this shirt? Stan. That was in the days when I was massive. Number 8, number 8. So this was the side I played for. Waratah Rugby, Wollongong. Waratah is a flower. It's the emblem of New South Wales. It's a flower that grows all over the place. So anyway, I signed up for these because my cousin's mate was a rugby union player, and he took me along. And because I got to Australia in the May, June. By the time I got a couple of weeks, sort myself out and looking for a job and stuff. I only played maybe, I can't remember. I think their season ends in September. So maybe six games, 7 games. I can't remember. Like home and away, and obviously trained with them and whatnot. As I said before, the third, seconds first, under 18s, under 21 play first. So for some reason, I played 6 or 7. They put me at 8. I must have been, I must have done all right. The shirt is obviously a number 8. Could be someone my size. Well, probably it could be my size. Back row person can be my size, or can be someone 6'3", built like a brick outhouse. So in the old days, you should just get a shirt that would fit the big fella, and all I had to do was tuck this right into my shorts and put electrician's tape around myself so I didn't start falling out all over the place. But yeah, it's quite a nice shirt. This is the one where I went up to Bowral. I mentioned in the other video. And we stood in the line out, it started snowing. I'm going, snow? And the flanker who was playing on our side, he looked like a 5'3" version of Mel Gibson, beard, teeth missing, I don't know why. And he turned around me and went, you should be fucking used to it, mate. I went, oh, okay. Freezing. Don't like snow, discomfort. So yeah, that's the Waratahs of Wollongong. And guess what? They don't exist anymore. I was going to bring a photograph down, a pair of socks, I forgot. But these became Tech Waratahs. They amalgamated with the Wollongong Tech School, I think, and so they're called Tech Tars. So when I went back to Australia in 2007, I thought, oh, I'll go and play for these again. So I found out where they were, I went down, I think I played 3 games for them, just had a little run out. There was actually one bloke who remembered me. He went, oh, you're such and such's cousin, I remember you. He was as old as I was. Anyway, so I did a run out for them. But when we moved down the coast a bit, we got closer to another club, so this is the other club. So, funny story coming up soon, honestly. So this is Camo Rugby, blowhards, that's a fly, blowfly. That's the, and this was the over 35s. So the strange story, a good bunch of lads, but I didn't get into it 100% because I didn't think it was fair, my wife, dragging her to the side of the world, then me going, oh, I'm just going to resume my life as if nothing happened. I'm going to go to work in the steelworks, and I'm going to come home and I'm going to play rugby on a weekend, and you can just do your own thing. So I was only a little bit involved. So I went down and said to them, oh, I'm not looking to play like grade rugby. Then me said late 30s, and I just want to, oh well, we've got over 35s. It's a good setup. Train on a Thursday. So I went down this Thursday, and I said, oh, what are you doing? Oh, we just play touch rugby. So for anyone who doesn't know, touch rugby is, the English version is just pat either side of your hips and you shout touch, and you have to recycle the ball. Non-contact rugby, you keep your ball skills up. So I goes down, and to be fair to the guys who were playing over 35s, most of them were over 45, I think. There was a few younger fellas, but they were really like just lads who just wanted to run out, and I probably shouldn't have really gone down to that sort of area of playing, because I turned up and I was still fairly fit and I'm running tries in. And I'm thinking, I don't know whether they were getting a bit knocked off with it. But anyway, I got clattered by a lad, like tackled, completely wiped out. And I thought it was touch. He went, well, if you're running a ball like that, it's touch with a tackle. Fair enough. But yeah, they were a good bunch of lads. But they did ask me to be involved with running the thirds and the seconds, but I couldn't. I couldn't commit to it because, again, it wasn't fair on my wife, you know what I mean? So I played a couple of games for them. Oh yeah, funny story. The first game I played for them was an inter-club game. I did have a plain shirt, but I've given it away to someone. This is their like dress shirt, Camo Rugby Football Club, and it did have a big collar. I got it altered, got it took off. Camo Rugby Club, they have the biggest, sevens tournament in the world, participation-wise. So there you go, you're learning something. I never played sevens in the thing because I've played sevens, but I'm not, like I say, sevens, you've got to be skillful, fit I was, skillful, and being able to read the game. So 1 out of 3 ain't good enough to play sevens, so I didn't bother. But they had big prizes, and I used to go and watch. Teams would come from Sydney, and they'd have literally a shirt that would last a match. So if you've gone from the other shirts I've showed you, big heavy ones that are billowing out like a canvas sail, you can grab them and pull them back. So these fellas were turning up. There was more than one team did it. Imagine like women's tights, that material, just like nylon mesh, with a number on the back and the just a little badge on the thing. So basically, skin tight. You try and grab someone, it just comes off in your hand. So they're going to score a try. A good idea, really, I think. So yeah, Camo Rugby Club. The first game I played for them was Camo over 35s versus. I can't remember now what the other place was called. Oh, memory. Down the coast. Right, it's gone. It's gone. I'm not going to be remembering it, am I? It began with a G. Anyway, most of their lads played for Camo, so it was over 35s versus over 35s. It was an inter-club game, really. And it was a really nice setup. An oval with an old English pub. You'd almost think you were in Britain. Jamboree, a place called Jamboree. You can look it up on the internet. When we'd finished, one of the lads who played, his daughter was Miss Australia. Now, at the time, Miss Australia at the time, she lived in our suburb, and now she also used to go up to my wife's work, and my wife worked in a department store, fashion part of it, and they would loan her clothes when she went on TV and stuff like that. So my wife got to know her, and I went to a couple of all-day free drinking things at the racecourse, and my wife sat on the fashion in the field where people pick the best dressed person, man and woman, and she was sat on the panel. My wife, Miss Australia, and I can't remember the person, was someone from the local radio. So this fellow was playing on the day with me, and his wife came down. I think she was coming to pick him up because the lads were going on in a bus to back to Kiama, and it was away from our suburb. So as I was talking to the man and wife, Miss Australia and a boyfriend, the bus went past. They're all sticking their fingers up at me, and I thought, oh, and they said, oh, do you want a lift? So me and my wife got a lift to Kiama off Miss Australia of the time and a boyfriend. So there you go, a little bit of thingy for you. I played a couple of grade games for them. My mate came over. He had a run out for them. Like I said, I didn't get too involved. But this is the one where I broke my spine. Literally, there was a night game on a Saturday, and I wasn't going to play. I thought, I'll play. Why not? Why not give it a go? And it was, we went down, and it was a place called Vikings Oval, and I was on the pitch. I bet it wasn't even 5 minutes. They were drinking port or rum before the game. You had to take a drink, and I'm thinking, this isn't being taken seriously. This is a bit. Anyway, they had a line out, threw the ball in. They're all going on about too much. I caught the ball, and I peeled off, and I saw a lad coming that way. Like there was zeroed in on me. I mean, some of these lads were still very, very fit and very capable of playing like a decent level of rugby. And I thought, I'm going to get creamed here. I just turned slightly there to pop the ball to. When you're playing like grade rugby, you expect someone to be there. There was no one there, so I turned a little bit too much, and he tackled me under the backside. So I went up in the air, and you lay the ball. As I laid the ball back, I'm nearly flat backed, and I landed on a stone, and it went straight at me back. Oh, pain. Yeah, I almost touched the back of my heels on the back of my head. So much I was, yeah. So I went and got changed, and I thought I just strained me back. I got my wife to pick my kit back up, being clever. I stayed out drinking. Not a good idea. Because I think I went into like a bit of shock. I was going out later on, and in the hospital, trying to get into an MRI machine when the nurse wouldn't give me a hand for some reason, with a broken spine when you had about 6 or 7 beers. My wife was just, you ever play rugby again, and that is, I'm going to boot you out, honestly. Anyway, we went back to England about 9 weeks later, and I'd made such a miraculous recovery. We went back for a holiday. I played rugby for the second team at my old club, so there you go. And I've played since. I don't now. I've learned my lesson. So there's me little funny. I've got another little funny story, which makes me you'll see what I really am, an idiot. With rugby in mind, all I've got of these, I did have the shirt, but I've given it away. See this? OzTag. OzTag is very popular in Australia, as is touch rugby. It's based on rugby league, and what you do, it's non-contact rugby. They have these Velcro pads on the side, and you attach a streamer either side. So you run over the ball, someone grabs the streamer, it's based on rugby league, so you have to put the ball between your legs, roll it back. Someone grabs both your streamers, turn the ball over, 5 tackles, all that sort of carry on. And as I said, my cousin, 20 minutes talking, cousin ex-rugby league player, he said, why don't we in the summer, me and you, have a run out? So we did. We played a few weeks in the competition. Excellent fun, keeps you fit. And then the last game, I think, before the end of the season, end of the competition season. Oh, by the way, as well, like rugby union in that part of the world, New South Wales, they don't play as many games as we do here because there's only so many teams in the competition, and they never get relegated or anything. Like up here in the north of England, you play miles away because there's so many different leagues. But there, because of the distances, there's only, anyway. So I'm not going to show you this, but one of my fingers is it doesn't sit right. I can straighten it, but it doesn't sit right. And the reason it doesn't sit right because I went to grab a streamer off this person, and the bastard must have tied it onto something. Because what happened was the streamer went round my finger. I tore all the ligaments in my finger. I'm the only bloke to get injured playing non-contact rugby. How do you think of that? I went to the doctors in the hospital. He said, I'm going to strap your arm up here like that for 6 weeks so you can't move it. I said, I can't. I said, I've just started work. He went, well, you'll end up with a bent finger the rest of your life. Now, he sort of was right, but not really. So what I did was, I said, tape my fingers together, and I used to go to work, put my work glove on, no one knew. And when I got home, I used to put a splint on it. And I was like that for about 3 months. But then I was all right, yeah, so. He was half right. I wasn't trying to be clever, disobeying doctor's orders, but I can't walk into a steelworks like that. They'll just kick you out, sack you. So, that's me talking. As always, for ages and ages and ages, now I'll try and do some real military videos yesterday. I just thought you might like to see the old rugby helmet collection. Where's that? Where's it gone? Oh, yeah. Usually do a little finale, don't we? So there's me. F-SS Bulgarian helmet, if you like. That is quite a nice idea. That's an excellent idea. I'm pleased that he said that. Anyway, so that's done. That's my video, and here's the button that never turns the videos off. See ya. Off.